Now, I have to say, walking out of episode 1 of Steins Gate Zero, it definitely feels like a kid on Christmas morning moment for me. Having Steins Gate return, but return in a fashion that makes so much sense, is just so amazing. I recently rewatched Steins Gate and did a review of it in anticipation for this wonderful series to return. And I just absolutely adore the idea of Steins Gate Zero. You know, a lot of anime will get a sequel or a new project, and a lot of people will always roll their eyes, being like, it ended in such an amazing way, there's no reason to do more. And I'm of the belief, as long as the universe wasn't destroyed in the series, you can do more. I just may not watch the new project if I feel satisfied. But Steins Gate is one of those very interesting cases where more actually makes a whole lot of sense, because Steins Gate was all about world lines and different paths that the characters could take, and it would shift you into a new world line. The big idea was the alpha and the beta world line. And the original Steins Gate concludes in the alpha world line, where Kurisu as well as Mayuri were both saved. However, there was a timeline where that didn't work out, which was the beta timeline, which is essentially Steins Gate Zero. Now, a big question a lot of people are going to come in with, I've never seen Steins Gate, can I watch this? No, get out of here. Seriously, like, this isn't one of those things where you can kind of come in without prior knowledge. No, you need to have emotional connections to these characters to understand where their mentalities are. If you haven't seen Steins Gate, don't watch Steins Gate Zero, it's as simple as that. But what I love is how there is a moment, and I'm actually going to pin this video in the comment section, so if you've never seen episode 23 beta, it's like 7 minutes long. It's an alternative point, which is actually what leads into Steins Gate Zero, and essentially that moment in episode 23 where Okabe kills Kurisu and realizes that the dead Kurisu that he originally found in episode 1 was his own doing, he's nearly giving up, but then he gets the D-mail, which is from a different Okabe in a different world line, convincing him to try again. Episode 23 beta is essentially the what if Okabe never got that D-mail? What if Okabe didn't try again? He just said, you know what, Mayuri's here, I'm gonna live with this. And that's Steins Gate Zero from my understanding in a nutshell. And this episode felt like a nostalgia blast. It seriously just threw you back in. You immediately, even if you haven't rewatched Steins Gate recently, the personalities were still spot on, minus Okabe, because Okabe is a very different person. The fact that he's seemingly living a normal life, the fact that he gave up on his crazy and wild dreams, you immediately realize, like, man, this really shook him up, and for obvious reasons. But I really like the idea of how they kind of, like, reintroduced the characters. They showed us new characters, how we get to see Daru's wife in the future. That guy's gonna be doing well for himself, all things considered, if that's who he's gonna have a relationship with. Overall, it just felt like a Steins Gate cast, even though everything was much more gloomy. And definitely this is the worst possible world line. This is the world line where World War III happens and everyone essentially dies. So I absolutely love how they threw you back in. You really felt like you were watching Steins Gate, but this was a Steins Gate anime that had purpose. And how the episode ends I thought was very interesting, because how were they going to reintroduce Kurisu? Like, I didn't know too much on the idea of that, but the idea that essentially her research actually allowed for memories to become AI, like AIs with feelings. And you absolutely know that this is going to, like, reawaken the past for Okabe and going to force him to basically send that D-mail. Ultimately, work on the time machine, work on everything, and to see that build up before World War III happens, to see the World War III, we got a little snippet of it in the very beginning of this episode, that's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to see the conclusion. Like, back in the original Steins Gate, we saw the Okabe's message, the one saying, like, I failed, but you still have a chance. I can't wait to see what happened after that moment, after he recorded that message to be sent to a different Okabe, where that's going to lead us, and that's going to be so interesting. Like, at the core, if you're going to return and have a new story arc, and just have it feel like it's needed, this is how you do it. Episode 1 of Steins Gate Zero was as close to perfect as I personally wanted it. It had the tropes that you kind of, like, came to love about the original Steins Gate, and absolutely, it just felt like Steins Gate, but a new version of it that had purpose to be here, but also gave you that blast of nostalgia. Even if you've recently rewatched it or completed it for the first time, it's so amazing to see these characters back in action with their original voice actors. Everything about this was absolutely what I wanted. I can't wait to see where they're going to go. I can't wait to see more mentally just shattering, because Okabe isn't going to be able to handle a virtual AI of Kurisu. He's not going to be able to deal with this, or a recording or anything. Like, this is a man who just keeps trying to convince himself that this world line is good enough. He went through so much shit just to save Mayuri, and he killed Kurisu. There's no way that he can deal with anymore, and he can't try again. But you know he's going to try again in the sense, like, you know ultimately where Steins Gate Zero is going to end and how it's going to relate to episode 23 of the original series. But it's so amazing to just see how they're easing the viewer back in, giving us some old moments. Hell, they used the same OST from the original series, which I absolutely adored. Of course, we're gonna have new stuff too, but to have those classic emotional pieces be played throughout this episode, that really just hit the spot for me. It's going to feel the same but new all at the same time and really make this feel like there's a reason for this to be here, and it is going to be 2-cour, which is even better. This is going to be amazing. This is definitely going to be my anime of the season as long as it feels like Steins Gate and continues on the path that it set out. Steins Gate has been one of my favorite anime ever since getting into the medium back in late 2012. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch next week's episode. I can't wait to watch all the episodes. This is definitely going to be one that's going to stick with me each and every week. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the return of Steins Gate? Let me know your thoughts down in that comment section below. And before you leave, smack that like button, share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So, till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.